Good day. Welcome to another video of the classwiz tutorials. Today we'll be talking about another very important and useful feature of the classwiz calculator, and at the same time relating how to use it to a content in the K-12 curriculum. Okay, so we'll be using this mode of the calculator, the classwiz. It's the 8th mode, the spreadsheet, in generating terms of sequences. So as you can see here, we have an arithmetic sequence to start with. But before we start, to access the spreadsheet, just press equal. So you see, you'll be seeing this familiar layout wherein there are rows and there are columns, just like your Microsoft Excel. So let's start with arithmetic sequences. So that we'll be generating the terms of an arithmetic sequence using the spreadsheet. Now remember that sequences can be defined in two ways. One way is to define it using an explicit formula. The other way is to define it using a recursive formula. So the more common of the two is this one, the explicit formula. But starting with that, so in an explicit formula, to generate the terms of a sequence, will be given a formula to directly get the terms. For example, if you substitute 1 for n, we'll be getting the first term. If you substitute 2 for n, we'll be getting the second term. And if you substitute 3, we're getting the third term, and so on. So here, we will use the Excel to generate the terms of this particular arithmetic sequence. At first, you may not see that this is an arithmetic sequence, because the idea of an arithmetic sequence that you will be adding a common difference to get to the next. So in using the spreadsheet, let's have column A be the numbers for values for n. So if n is 1 for the first term, n is 2 for the second term, 3, so on. So let's list up to 5 terms to make this quick. So we have here the first n values 1 to 5, and we'll be using the next column B, to input the formula for our explicit formula of our arithmetic sequence. So here it's an equals 7n minus 4. So just like in Excel, we're inputting a formula, start with an equal sign. So equal to 7 times the cell here A1, so we'll be typing alpha A1, so that's 7A1, then minus 4. So pressing equal, that will be a number will appear there for formula. So you have here, meaning the first term is 3. Now, to copy the formula, so you can type it again here, but there's a quicker way to do it. Just copy the formula, pressing option. You see here, there are choices that will come up. Scrolling down will give you other options. So there, it's number 2, copy and paste. So we can actually copy and paste the formulas we inputted in B1. So let's do it here. So copy and paste. Press equal to for that. You see, then for the third the cell B3, there. Now, as you can see, it's now clear that this is an arithmetic sequence, starting with 3, then 10, then 17, and 7, and then 24, and then 31. It's an arithmetic sequence with first term 3 and common difference 7. Okay, now let's do the other one using the recursive formula. So in the recursive formula, we start with defining the first term or the first few terms, and then generate the terms of the sequence by relating terms to the previous term. So in this case, it's very simple, and it's actually the definition of the arithmetic sequence, adding a number to get to the next, a common number to get to the next. So this is the formula that's not often explained clearly, because we're using the explicit formula most of the time. So in the let's use the next columns. Let's use column C or column C to generate the terms of this sequence using the recursive formula. So in typing the first term 3 there, and then the formula to use is to get to the next term, adding a common number to the previous term. So here you're adding 7 to the previous term, which is actually cell C1. So obviously we'll get 10. So as you can see, it's column B. This is one is generated using the explicit formula. Column C, this one is generated using the recursive formula. Again, we can copy what we did here, the formula. So let's do that. So option again. Scroll down, you see that copy paste again 2, and then copy the formula in dito to the succeeding cells. So you have here there, as you can see, it's the same. So you see it's 24. See, it's 31. See, and then you can go on. The sixth term here is 38. The seventh term would be 45. So okay, let's do another type of sequence. This time we'll be having the geometric sequence. So same thing with the arithmetic sequence. This can be defined using an explicit formula and then a recursive formula. So we'll be doing the first one. So to clear your cell, so all that you've typed in the cells, so just press option, and then there's the option that you can delete it all. So press that 3, you have a new cell to work with, new spreadsheet to work with. So let's start with the explicit formula for the geometric sequence. So again, the first column A would be for the values of n, starting with 1 to get the first term, then 2 to get the second term, and so on. So let's do up to the fourth one. Okay, and then we will be using the next column to define our geometric sequence. So again, we type the formula, so equal to 3 times, that's the 2, and the exponent would be this one. The exponent is n minus 1, so that will be a sub 1, then minus 1. So here you have 3, then again we can copy the formula we've inputted in that cell. So you have here for the next terms, so you have here, we're generating the terms. Now it's again clear that this is a geometric sequence because there's a common number that is being multiplied to a previous term to get to the next. So 3 times 2 would be 6, times 2 would be 12, and so on. So then again, let's define it another way. So defining it using a recursive formula. So again, the steps in defining a sequence using a recursive formula is to start with the number, your first term, and then what relates it to get the terms that comes after, relating it to the previous terms. In this case, it's clear that you should multiply by 2 the previous term to get to the next term. So let's do that. Start by typing the first. It's not 12, so let's use this column C. Okay, so we'll input 3 as our first one, so it's A1 there, so it's 3. And then just the recursive formula is we'll be multiplying to get the value here for cell C2. We'll be multiplying the constant 2 to the previous cell, which is C1. So it's simply 2 times C1. So obviously we get 6. So that's what we're after. You can see that the terms generated using the explicit formula and using the recursive formula are the same. So again, let's copy the formula here to get to the next. So you have there. So I'll be generating the next term. As you can see, it's 12. And then you can see it's 24. And you can actually go on. It's easier. The recursive formula is easier to use, and it's actually the definition itself. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this new feature of the classwiz. Till next video, good day.